2008 Corvette Z06. It's only got 43,000 miles. Pretty car, man. I'm already gassed up. Got what everybody needs, right? Got the paperwork for the car deal. Bags packed. This is saying we're getting 6.6 miles per gallon. This is probably a good time to update everybody and kind of get into it a little bit. So I guess this is going to be a vlog or something like that. Our thought process is we do so many of these trips, it would be worth showing it to some of you people, and you can continue to get to know who we are and see what we do and put a face and name to everything. So right now I have been on the road for 4 hours, basically. It's Labor Day weekend. We have this Z06 I'm driving right now. It's a 2008, beautiful car. It's one of my dream cars, so I'm ecstatic to get to drive it right now. We buy stuff like this all the time. This one's got some tuning, some stuff like that done, so it's a little different from, usually we like stock. We kind of stay away from some of the crazy stuff because a lot of the people we sell to don't actually want that. They want to know the car hasn't been rallied and raced. We bought this from like an 85-year-old retired guy who maybe he was racing it. Good for him if he was. He deserves it, man. This car, basically what happened was we bought a car in California, in Anaheim, and we do that often. This vehicle that I'm driving now, we have an auction out in California that we like to use for some of this nicer stuff. We send a lot of our nice Mercedes, M-Series BMWs, Porsches, Corvettes, all kinds of cool stuff. It does really good out there. It's a better market sometimes for it. Sometimes in Utah, for some reason, some of this stuff, we're at the end of the summer, it's Labor Day, you're not going to get a lot of good quality time left with these cars, and the people that really take care of them don't even take them out past a certain time of the year. So this car in California can basically be driven year-round, right? And there's a lot more buyers, a lot more money. There is money in Utah, but it's easier for somebody to find a butt for this seat is easier in California. So we are basically, we call ourselves wholesalers. We do retail. We buy from the public. We buy from dealerships. We buy from everybody. And, we can sell to anybody. It's pretty nice. I was in the sales force for 7 years, roughly. And the only thing that sucked about that is the hours you work. You're always at the office. You're always trying to sell a car and make that money. When you're in the sales side, you're always there. You're working holidays. You're missing birthdays. You're missing trips that your friends are going on. You can't spontaneously do anything usually. Not where I worked, you couldn't. It was hard to get time off. Made a good living, but it was hard to be happy, other than making the money and being around cars you like. So this is cool. It's pretty exciting. I love it. This has been one of the best summers. Getting to work with my dad, getting to talk to my dad every day, all that stuff is just another cool part of the job. So we buy cars all over the country. We bought cars in New York, we bought cars in Florida, Texas, California, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming. We're all over, and it's very spontaneous. So we were at a football game yesterday. Right before the football game, I bought this car, this Corvette. We had an opportunity to buy a vehicle in California from a lady, so we're buying her Honda. So I'm taking this car down. I'm going to pick up one of my really good buddies in Mesquite. We went to high school together. He's living down there. They're opening a bakery, which is super cool. Good for him and his family. So he's down here. We don't see each other very much lately, so I'm going to take him with me. I'm going to pick him up. I'm about an hour from there. We're going to get dinner, get into Vegas, spend the night in Vegas, get up in the morning, have breakfast, see the family, and go down to Anaheim. It's about 3.5 hours from my parents' house to where they're at. We're going to see the Angels play the Mariners. I'm a Dodger fan, clearly, but they're out of town right now, so the Angels, we're going to go see. He's never been to a pro game. It'll be cool for him to experience it. I try to go to one every year. I haven't been this year, didn't get to go last year, so I'm very excited. They suck right now, so tickets are cheap. This trip works out really good because some days, you know, we can be in Salt Lake every day for 3 weeks, and then next thing I know, I'm in Twin Falls, Idaho, or I'm in, you know, just outside of Vegas or California, buying a car, driving it back, bringing it wherever. So we move a lot of metal. We buy a lot of nice stuff. Check out our Instagram. It's Gestalt Marketing. I'll have it in the description. Also, if you guys have a car you're trying to sell, it doesn't have to be these fancy high-end cars. We buy trucks with 200,000 miles on them. We buy cars that are brand new. They can have you can owe money on it still. It can be title in hand. We wheel and deal. So it's family owned and operated. It's real cool stuff. I figured this would be a good way to put a face to the company, and you guys can keep getting to know who we are and see what we are and how cool it is what we do. So these are times that, you know, we don't take for granted, and we really enjoy it. So when this one presented itself, it's Labor Day weekend. It's hard for me to put this car on a truck, get it out to California before the sell on Tuesday. Monday's the holiday, so instead of paying a ton of money to try to do it, we'll drive it out there, see a baseball game, drop it off at the auction, and then the lady I'm buying her Honda, I'll Uber to her house, do the paperwork, grab the Honda. We're going to spend one night in California, and then we're going to drive back to Vegas, stay with my family again, do a boys' night, and go out and enjoy the time we have. So you can't take this stuff for granted. I'm thankful that the opportunity presented itself. You know, when one door closes, one opens, and you got to take that jump if you're going to do it. So this is cheaper for me to drive this down, get a hotel, and do all of this than for me to put this on a truck, fly there, buy the other car, drive it back, or buy there, drive it to the auction, fly back. Sometimes flights last minute get pretty pricey. So this makes a lot more sense for us. And we enjoy it. You know, this is a time in my life where I have that freedom. So getting the time with my friend is awesome. And I'm going to embrace it and enjoy it. We're going to film a little bit of it, not too much. I just figured this is a cool way. I just barely left Beaver. Beaver's cool. You got to get a sticker. This is for my friend, right? I heart Beaver. Got a drink. Topped off on fuel. I'm still in the middle of nowhere, so when I hit half a tank, I always like to stop and fill back up. Just because if you're in the middle of nowhere and you get stuck, it's good having that fuel, and if you got to sit in the car, whatever you got to do. I have a story of the canyon I just went through maybe 4 years ago. I was driving a Jeep, and it was the winter, and it started snowing. It was snowing really good. We just topped off, the same gas station I went to in Beaver. got drinks, got snacks, and then we get to the canyon. The canyon just, on the drop of a dime, comes to a complete stop. They can't plow it. There's a bad accident. They're trying to get emergency vehicles down, and we're basically stuck in the car for 4 hours. You know what I mean? Just enjoying each other's company and sitting there in the snow and waiting until we can get out. So it's always good to have a little bit of something with you. I always keep a protein bar in my backpack and a thing of water. You never know. We had a trip here recently. We were going down to Twin Falls. I just bought my car. It's a hybrid, and there was a problem with the hybrid battery. They just replaced the batteries, and I think it was the way that they hooked them back up or something. I don't know. I ain't a mechanic. So when we hit a couple hours on the road, my car just went into full shutdown, and we had to tow the car back into town. The customer that we were buying the other car from wouldn't do the deal till the next morning because she wanted to verify our money with the bank, which is fine. So it left us in a tight position. We had to get a hotel. We didn't pack an overnight bag because we weren't planning on being gone for more than just the day. So we had to go to Walmart, get your toothbrush, get an outfit for the next day, deodorant, everything in between. And if you're not planning on spending the night, like sometimes it can be fun. You can't let it ruin your time. But if you have plans or things going on, it can be frustrating because, you're only getting paid for buying the car. When you sell the car, you're not getting paid hourly to be there. And then you're just spending money because you need to eat, So we went to dinner. We went, and our hotel we were at had a fire pit. So we bought a case of beer and just hung out and killed some time till we were ready for bed. And next thing you know, we wake up the next day, we go to do the car deal, and the customer absolutely ghosts us. So leaves us hanging. Thankfully, my car was done, got fixed right away. Super easy. It took them 10 minutes. But it sucked because we actually lost money for that whole entire day. There was nothing in it for us. I can't pay them for their time unless we buy the car, and all we did was spend money. So that's our worst case scenario. But we fly out, at the drop of a dime, we can be flying out to Jackson Hole's one that I fly to a lot. We buy a lot of luxury cars out there. There's a lot of money out there. So it's pretty common. It's common for us to go out and do these spontaneous trips, and we figured it would be cool to start filming some of it, let you guys meet us, see us, know who we are. And as the company continues to grow, you already know who we are. So this is what we do. It's fun. This is going to be a good time. See some family this trip, see that pro game, and take in the time we got together. So I used to go on trips like this with my dad growing up all the time. I mean, I have memories. He had a work event one time in Portland. So we flew into Portland, and I just sat at the hotel for the day, and the next thing you know, we drove out. My brother lived in Coos Bay, and we went and spent a weekend with family. It was awesome. A little fishing town, a timber town. But I have a 2-year-old. I think it would be awesome to be able to share some of this with him. He's all boy. He loves cars. It's in our DNA. I grew up in it. I worked with my dad. It'll be exciting as he gets a little older and gets to. There's times I bring home cool cars, and he used to love just listening to the way the cars sound. We buy a lot of like GT 350s and 500s, and when you start it in the morning and it's that cold start and it's so throaty, it just would put the biggest smile on his face. So I think it would be cool to let him experience some of this. He's gonna love it. So we're a car family. It's what we are. It's the industry we're in, born and raised, and it'll be fun. This is awesome. So I'm kind of tracking to get to Mesquite right about the time the sun's going to go down. So we're going to get dinner. I think I'm going to try to talk him into In-N-Out. That's my favorite when I eat out on the road. We love mom and pop places, but we're kind of trying to pick him up and just go, because we'll be about 2 hours from my parents' house. And then if we get to Vegas with enough time, we can relax and hang out. So yeah, we don't want to waste too much time in Mesquite. It's such a small area. So we're going to do that. It'll be good, though. Maybe he's been there for a minute, so maybe he's got some places he'll want to go eat at. But I'm a big In-N-Out guy on the road. It's very safe for me. I love it. It's a good spot. I enjoy it. It's not that expensive, but it's fun. So right now we're in the Z06, the Corvette, 2008, beautiful one owner, 40,000 miles. So this car is going to be in California, and then the last day we're there, we're going to go swap and buy that other vehicle, the Honda Ridgeline, and drive that back. So I'm going to keep trekking. The first couple hours sucked. It was just nothing but Labor Day traffic trying to get out of the city. Even when you're past the city, I mean, the first 2 hours should have taken 30 minutes. There was no car accidents, nothing, just Labor Day traffic. So some people move like snails, man. I don't get it. But right now I'm about to enter Cedar City. And I'm going to try to get a cool video showing off the car a little bit, maybe at dinner, so you guys can see it. It's really pretty. The guy took amazing care of it, very well managed. He's done some tuning, he's done some work, headers, ton of stuff to the car. About 15 grand in upgrades and tuning from a local shop. So it drives like a beast. The beginning of the trip, I was actually getting 5 miles per gallon. And I couldn't even get the car out of second gear because we weren't going over 30, 20 miles an hour half the time. So now I'm going 83 miles an hour. My RPMs are just under 2,000 RPMs. And this part of the highway, the last 3 hours, we've averaged 25 miles per gallon. So definitely could be a lot worse. Thankfully, it's not a lot worse. It gets expensive quick in these cars. But, yeah, it's nice. I got a podcast I'm going to finish. Been jamming out on the way here. And I'm going to finish that podcast. It should end right about the time I pick him up. So, we'll see if he'll be on some of it. He doesn't really care for this stuff too much. So, he might be on it, might not. We'll see how it goes. But we love you guys. This is who we are. This is what we're doing. And happy to start finally showing it off. It's like a joke on the video. So this is Indiana. It's first time going to California.
Never been other than a flight to their airports.
Which we're officially in California.
Oh, we crossed the border already?
Yeah, that was that agriculture sign.
So this is where death and decay begins.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah, exactly. So we just left beautiful Prim. Prim is a magical place. If you've never been, you should go. Said nobody.
You'll find lots of sand. Don't tell me what to do.
You guys might notice the camera angles are different because the phone keeps falling.
This is what happens when you don't have mounts and you do it the cheap way.
Yeah, low budget production here. But
y'all gotta start somewhere.
So this is your first time going to California.
Yeah.
His family's opening the bakery. This is the one we talked about.
Gonna be opened in Mesquite, Nevada, called Fat Dough, definitely come check it out if you're swinging through. It's going to be the only bakery in Mesquite.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be too hard to find. Just search Fat Dough Bakery. You'll find it. But definitely swing by, check it out. Making all kinds of goodies. Pastries, bakery, we have sandwiches.
Family owned, yeah.
Family owned. It's a code between my family and then a local business owner who owns a bunch of stuff. So, new business. Really excited for it. Yeah, want to swing by, say hi, tell us where you came in from, where you found it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's exciting. So,
a lot of artisan bread.
Yeah. This is your first time going to go to the actual beach in California, too, huh?
I've been to the Pacific via Hawaii, but never been to California's coast.
Okay. So we're going to
get going there.
From here, we're about to Barstow. Barstow's another gorgeous place if you've never been, said no one. We're already in traffic somehow. But from here, we're going down to the beach. We're going to go get some food. We're going to eat in Huntington. And then the baseball stadium is about 20, 30 minutes, depending on traffic. So we're going to go. We need to find a hotel still. So that'll be an adventure in itself. And then go to the baseball game. Maybe go out and get a couple drinks after.
Yeah, definitely just check out the town a little bit.
Yeah.
See if we can get into some trouble, maybe.
Yeah. We might not be alive this time tomorrow. This might be this Captain's Log day 2. We might not be alive for day 3. That's the fun part about these Captain Logs.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't make it back from the trips.
No.
There was James. We lost James.
Ricardo.
Ricardo never came back with us.
Ricardo was sad because
Tijuana was like a second home to him. I understand why he didn't come back.
And I get that, like, he fell in love with this girl and never came home. But the problem is the girl's family belongs to the cartel, so he now is owned by the cartel. So which sucks, because he was a good guy. So
and the crazy part was his wife and kids here never understood what happened.
No.
He just didn't come home to us, and we're like,
you met another woman.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say? It happens. Happens to all of us.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was kind of like what we heard from James's cousin, the one who went to Greece and met that Greek girl.
Yep. Yeah, and now he literally works in like a coffee shop over there for her family, which is better than the cartel for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than what ended up happening to Ricardo.
Yeah,
Ricardo's never going to leave Tijuana.
No, we'll never see him again. That's for sure.
I mean,
he fits in though.
James' cousin Alex, there's a chance. I mean, he still gets to leave town occasionally. They'll let him come back.
Yeah, which is surprising. Usually they don't let you leave even unless you go with the cartel.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that unless Ricardo starts doing runs, but his dual citizenship will probably help with that.
Conflict of interest for sure. This episode's actually brought to you by Rockstar and Zin.
Well,
Zin,
yeah.
Good old
citrus Zin,
keeping us on the road.
If you aren't running on caffeine and Zin, what are you actually running on?
At that point, you're just running from your fears. So for food, is your goal to eat fish today because we're by the ocean, or what?
I do like seafood.
I know you do. We were talking about that last night.
I don't know, maybe some crabs, maybe some clam, maybe some oysters. I do like that fish, that oyster, that seafood.
I'm kind of craving some fish and chips.
Yeah.
It's a safe bet for me because I'm not a big fish guy. Yep. So we're only doing LA for one night, right?
Well, we got to get back to Florida next week for the other films.
Yep. So here's what's cool is we had a fan who actually emailed us. You guys know the email. Email if you want to get a hold of us. He reached out to us. He has a suite in Vegas for the next few nights. So we're going to go back that way. We're going to go party on the strip with him and all of his crew. Hopefully we don't get roofied this time. They're pretty wild. It's our second time hanging out with fans, so
it's like that one guy last time we were there, the one who got so hammered they cut him off, and he goes and hands me $200 and starts getting me to buy shots for everyone again.
You want to tell that story? Actually, that's not bad. It's
one of our previous boys trips in Vegas. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. We spent 2 hours wandering around Vegas trying to find something to fucking eat. And it's during like, God, it was like 2021, 2022. So
it was
right
COVID.
when COVID shut everything down in Vegas. Couldn't find food for shit. The one pizza place we found had like an hour and a half wait and closed in an hour. We give up. Go back to the hotel that we're staying at, MGM. And we're just hanging out in one of the lobby bars. And we walk in, and there's a group of girls partying. There's this random guy hanging out with them. And we just grab a table, hang out for a while.
Ahmed was his name.
Is his name Ahmed?
Yeah.
Well, was Ahmed the guy from Seattle or Washington? There's the other two guys who joined us who were cousins.
Oh, maybe I don't remember right then.
Because I think his name was Ahmed, and his cousin's name was like...
Oh, and his cousin was the truck driver.
Well, his cousin was the one who went and bought the hooker.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we're sitting at the bar hanging out. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. We're making friends. So we meet these random guys who had just done a run from Washington down to Texas. They were selling, you know what? Not our thing. But no, that was what they were doing. Stopped in Vegas on the way back, party, hung out with them for a minute. Eventually, he gets cut off from the bar. The bartender's done with it. And I mean, gone. He comes over to us, makes friends with us, and tells us, yeah, his friends had ditched him. They'd left him there hours ago. And he had just been stuck in this bar making friends with everybody. Turns out the group of girls that he was hanging out with doesn't know any of them. They're a girls' trip. They're there from Rio de Janeiro out of Brazil on a girls' trip. And because he gets cut off, he comes over our table, starts giving us cash, and we're buying shots. And I'm going up to the bar with money. Bartender's interrogating me because he's like, "You're not buying him shots," and I'm like, "Oh no,
You're like, no, it's
I'm
for
buying
the
girls
girls."
shots." Yeah. So I'm buying shots. I go back. I go to give the guy his leftover money. I bought like 2 dozen shots or something with what he gave me.
And
I
each
go
of
to
us a beer.
And each of us a beer.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably spent $150, $200 just what he handed me on liquor for the girls and us and everybody there. I go to hand back the rest of his cash, which is still like $100 or something. And he goes, no, you keep it, friend. You keep it. He's like, refused, outright, would not take his money back. So I was like, okay, I'll just keep buying everything.
Tried to put it in his pocket.
Yeah, I even tried to put it in his pocket at one point. He wouldn't take it. And eventually, the girls end up leaving. He leaves. The one guy's cousin, we were there till like 6 in the morning before we gave up. Because that was why we had stopped and hung out there, is we tried to order food from somewhere on like DoorDash or something.
Yeah, we did order it, but it wouldn't show up.
2 hours after we ordered it, we just gave up.
Our one friend's like, I'm going to bed. And we're still like, no, we're eating tonight. Like,
well, at that point, I think we'd been up for like 36, 40 hours too.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't gone to bed the entire night before. Didn't go to bed the day before that either, because we had gotten to Vegas at like 10 o'clock at night, stayed up the whole day, stayed up the whole next day, and then stayed up till like 6 a.m. the third day. It ended up being like a 40-hour run with no sleep or something.
We found a Subway finally.
Yeah, the next day.
At 6 in the morning, we find a Subway. We go to the parking garage next to the MGM, where you're watching the planes land. And we literally finished our drink, ate our Subway, and watched the sunrise. And then we went up to our hotel room, and that's when we went to bed.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It was
Long
fun.
night. Yeah.
It was a boys' trip.
And then the next day turned into another...
We had one day left.
Because we went to bed at like
we went to bed
7,
at
8 o'clock.
7:30, 8 o'clock, yeah.
Woke back up at like 1 o'clock and then went right back out to drinking and partying. Didn't get back till it was like 3 or 4 a.m. the next night again.
And then we drove home the next day.
Yeah. Well, not before we went to the Grand Canyon. Remember
That's
that?
true.
We did the Grand Canyon.
No, Hoover Dam.
Hoover Dam.
Yeah,
It's Grand Canyon, Hoover Dam. Same place.
They're the same place. You guys know.
I mean, you can't really see one without the other most of the time. So
Our super high depth camera's getting hot. Can you tell? Because it's starting to dim.
it's starting to dim on. So yeah.
So we're gonna end this before the phone shuts off. But we're not vloggers. It's not what we do. That's awkward. So just bear with us. We just want you guys to keep getting to know us. See some of this trip. Now we're dropping off the Corvette. We're here at our auction. This is the truck we picked up. We're taking the plates off, putting the dealer plate on.